So apparently, Persona 6 is rumored to be green. Now we know what that means.
Great vegetables.
Midori, the famous Sega Atlus newsgiver, shared that Persona 6 will use the color green. Ever since the first Persona game, there has been a major color being used by each installment. In the most simple way, it can be seen as an aesthetic choice, but it has a deeper meaning as each of the colors games symbolizes the theme of the story. I believe that the color green is the best choice for Persona 6, and the story and theme that it will create will provoke our thoughts more than we think. Before that though, if you think that Persona 6 will indeed use the color green, then like this video and join Otaku Define for more JRPG content. So this image from the 25th anniversary of Persona series has been teasing us the whole time, and the theories are correct. Persona 6 is green. And since from the past Persona game trailers, P3's Makoto has been known as Roger, P5's Joker is known as Cherkun, then P6 Protag is definitely Paint Bucket. But that's not the most important thing about this image, but it is what's inside the paint bucket, and that is the color green. Every Persona game must use a major color for aesthetic, as well as matching it to the theme of the story. In Persona 1, they used a lighter shade of purple, but wait, isn't Persona 1 red? Well, no. That was the international cover of Persona 1 known as Revelation's Persona, while the Japanese cover uses the color purple, albeit on a lighter shade, as well as the remastered version that was released on the PSP known as Shin Megami Tensei Persona. The color purple symbolizes a lot of things. Mainly for Persona 1, they use the color purple to invoke the feeling of mystery and spirituality, which is the overall theme of Persona 1 as they are confronted by a series of supernatural events. Persona 2 uses the color red as it is a passionate color, often associated with protection from evil, romance, and courage. But then the 25th anniversary of the Persona series changed it to orange. They thought we wouldn't notice. But the color association still stands especially for courage, as it does represent the theme of the stories for both Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, as well as both of the main protagonists, Tatsuya and Maya, for having the willpower to brave the challenges against Nyarlathotep. Now Persona 3 as the color blue is an easy explanation. Blue is a somber color that represents sadness as the theme of Persona 3 revolves around death. Not only that, but it is also the color of the night sky that represents the incoming doom that Cease has to conquer to save the world. Meanwhile, Persona 4 uses the color yellow as it is a joyful color. What's that? There's a dead body hanging in the air? Don't worry because
every day is great at your Tunas.
Yellow is a warm color that solidifies the band from your family and friends, which has been the theme of Persona 4. Also, yellow is the color of the murder tape used by the police. But don't worry about murders when you can have
Fistake?
Anyway, back to our regular mood, Persona 5 also uses the color red, but in a different way from Persona 2, as red is a booming color represented by the plushy style used by the Phantom Thieves. Red also symbolizes anger and rebellion, the main theme of Persona 5, going against societal norms and breaking the chains to fight people with distorted desires. This is why I love Persona games so much. They present their game as a whole, but as we peel through them, we see every thought that they have put in each layer of the story. So with Persona 6 being green, what will it mean for its story? Will it be about nature? Maybe it will talk about the global warming and climate change? Will it be about the technology and the bad consequences for defending on it? Well, here's the thing. Green as a color has a lot of symbolisms in Japanese culture. For example, green is seen as the color of youth and energy. Think of Rock Lee and Might Guy from the Naruto series. Guy is even called the Green Beast of Konoha for his youthful energy. While this symbolism exists more in Japan, this can just be an easy way of saying that our protagonists and their group of friends will be young and energetic individuals who desire for growth, which is another concept associated with the color green, new beginnings, and the cycle of life. Speaking of new life, green bamboo is often used in celebrating New Year's in Japan as it is seen as lucky. Hence why Japanese aesthetics uses the green color for prosperity. But the most popular thing that fans go for as a theme of Persona 6 is nature versus technology, as green is often associated with the environment and its vitality, while technology's usual design is with the use of chips which are often green. And I mean, just look at Futaba who's a tech whiz. She's a green gremlin. So how does a nature versus technology story go for Persona 6? Will it be as cliche as protecting the environment from the grave impacts of modern technology? Well, it won't be that simple. Let me begin by saying again how amazing the Persona team is in delivering their story. It's often given as a single concept, but as we peer through them, we see each layer representing the idea of the whole. Like how Persona 5 is again red. It represented the Phantom Thieves' rebellion, it also associated the distorted passion of the palace rulers, it's also tacky and demands attention. All of these are well represented by the color. So with Persona 6 being green, having a main theme of nature against technology can also be represented in multiple layers. First off, let's go as to how green is seen as a symbol of new beginnings. As always, the protagonist of the story will be another transfer student. That's how players fit right in as we explore a new world. But not only that, because I'm sure that this game will be set in rural Japan. Much like Persona 4 where it was set in the outskirts of Yamanashi. The reason why the protagonist had to move out is because of nuclear waste. It has been a dangerous issue that forced people to move out away from their homes. So we can see Paint Bucket living in a rural place, surrounded by nature and breathing cleaner air. And this is where the first plot of the story takes place. It will be about a growing issue of rural displacement. Japan has a rural population problem, where millions of homes are left to rot because the former residents left to live in major urban hubs. However, there is one more significant aspect that the color green represents that I believe would be the best theme for Persona 6, and that is mental health. Green ribbon is the international symbol for raising awareness for mental health. Mental health is also a huge issue in Japan. Just in 2022, it has been reported that Japan has an extremely low prevalence rate against depression at about 10%. In Japan, it's really tough to get help for mental health problems, whether it's just feeling a bit anxious or dealing with serious depression. To prove this further, only 6% admitting to pursuing psychological counseling for mental health problems in Japan, compared to the 52% rate of counseling in Europe and America. Mental health is a prevalent issue, and the younger population are the ones suffering from it. A report by UNICEF back in 2020 stated that among 38 developed and emerging countries, Japanese students rank second worst when it comes to mental well-being. This goes in line as to why Persona 6 will be set in high school again, especially how vulnerable the younger population is from mental health problems. The reason for this? Well, there's a lot of factors such as bullying, peer pressure, high academic standards, and many more, adding to the fact that Persona 6 has been in development since 2019, and the pandemic made the overall mental health even worse. I truly believe that the Persona team is creating the best game that will address the mental health issue. The Persona series never shied away from these types of topics as we see these kinds of issues handled properly in earlier series. Furthermore, Personas always use the mental state as a basis of their power system, citing various psychological principles and theories such as the psyche, collective unconscious, and others. Green is a great choice for Persona 6. It is being created as a message of hope, encouraging the younger generation that there will be a prosperous future, ensuring them a healthier life, much like the color it represents.
Great vegetables.
There's a lot of things that Persona 6 can do with the color green, and when it comes out, you know I'll play it in a heartbeat no matter what kind of theme and story it will tell. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Why do you think Persona 6 is green? Is it about the money that this game can make, especially how popular Persona is now? I just hope that when Persona 6 comes out, it will be made available on Steam. Atlus better not change that now, but there's actually an Atlus published game that has not come out on Steam, and that is Unicorn Overlord, or even other VanillaWare games. If you're curious why, then check this video out. Like and subscribe to Otaka Define for more Persona content. This is Math, and stay awesome, my dudes.